good, y'all? It's this royalty here, aka JN, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the safe and wonderful place. And if you're not new, you're back again for another video. So today is gonna be a video about my first year at college. Those of you who don't know, I attended Kennesaw State University. I'm now a sophomore. By December, I'll have junior credits. But yeah, so I just wanted to tell you guys about my first year at college, whether it was a good one, whether it was a bad one. Yeah, so I already know someone's gonna mention it. These hands are clear and this hand is like a pinkish orange. I was in the middle doing my nails and I didn't want to do it anymore. I'm gonna do it later. But yeah, if you guys see me looking down, you know I got the trusty little iPad here with all my notes and stuff on it. But let's get started. All right, so the first thing I want to talk to you guys about would be like roommates and my dorm. So if you guys didn't watch my dorm video, basically I lived in a basic like it was basically an apartment. It was 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a living room and a kitchen, and there's a washer and dryer. Kennesaw State really, you know, hit us with that one. It was really nice. I really enjoyed my apartment actually. So roommates. So I had 3 other roommates. One of my roommates was Jamie, one of my roommates was Gabby. You guys might have seen them on my Instagram, and my other roommate was Kayla. So we became friends, I believe, around last May-ish, and we were all really good friends. Everyone was funny and cool and everything. One big piece of advice that I have for you guys when it comes to roommates is a big thing my parents told me, or a couple big things that my parents told me. Just because you're friends now does not mean you'll be friends by the time the school year ends. 1. 2, sometimes it's not great to room with friends. And 3, you never really know people. This is the biggest one. You never really know people until you live with them. That's the biggest thing. You never really know a person until you live with them. So, so how my roommates were, I mean, in the beginning, everything was great. Everything was, you know, exciting. Like, you know, like we were living off, oh my God, it's our first month, our first 2 months of college. This is great, da, da, da. Y'all, I really didn't make any friends this year at all. So my roommates and their friends were basically my friends. I think my anxiety was just too bad for me to ever actually make any friends. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I made friends like online. And I had my friend Jacob. I've known him since middle school, and he came to Kennesaw, so we were good. And it's just like, I just never personally made like super close friends on my own. Everybody I either knew or I had met them online the summer before. My roommates were okay in the first couple months. Everything was great. You know, we all had our ups and downs. One thing I've realized, girls living in one area for too long can cause some issues. I'm not gonna go into drama. Like, it's past now. I don't care. I've forgiven. I haven't forgotten. I've forgiven. I move on. But there was just a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff. I can say to you that I'm probably only friends with one of my roommates right now, and it's Jamie. She's the only one that I would say that I'm still friends with and I'm still super close with. She was actually the person I was the closest with throughout our whole year, freshman year. Me and Jamie are both psychology majors. We took the same classes, same professors, whatever. So me and her were the closest. And it's just like, both of our parents are foreigners. My parents are from Haiti. Her parents are from the Philippines. So I think we just kind of clicked in that sense. And then also being the same major. So me and Jamie were the closest. Kayla and Gabby were pretty close. Yeah. So, I mean, like, we had our ups and downs. By the end of, by spring semester, it was just it was just 4 people living in a dorm together. I wouldn't even say we were really friends. I was feeling left out a lot. I was pushed out of the group. I was pushed aside. I was talked about. So much happened. And I mean, it was a lesson learned for me. I learned new things, and I can't say that I really wouldn't want to redo it. I mean, I would love to redo my year, but at the same time, I learned a lot. So I can't say too much. So I would say that me and my roommates are longer friends, except Jamie and I. She was actually the one I got my first tattoo with. So you guys will see that video. But yeah. So next topic would be classes. So I'm gonna go ahead and say how to pick your classes. The way I did my classes, if I did a single hard class, I would try to do 2 easy classes. If I did 2 hard classes, have 2 easy classes. My first semester, because I struggled a little bit in high school with my college classes, I was only allowed to take 4 classes. So I had taken English 1102, Psych 2, it wasn't intro, it was the one after intro. I'll list my classes. Sociology and college algebra. I ended up dropping English 1102 with Jamie because we were both struggling in that class. But by the end of that semester, I had, I think, 2 A's and 1 B. Now, spring semester. Y'all, I don't know what happened. I mean, I know what happened. The spring semester was not it for me. I took statistics, another psych class, economics, African diaspora studies, and some other class. I'll list them again for spring semester. But y'all, I did not do so great. I probably came out with 1 A, a B, the rest were C's, and I failed 1 class. It was not a good semester for me at all. I struggled a lot. Yeah, we'll get into why I struggled later. But so another big thing that I advise for everybody to do is use Rate My Professor. RateMyProfessor.com, y'all. When you use Rate My Professor, you type in a professor that you're looking at when you're trying to make your schedule, and you type in the school and everything, and it tells you the ratings for these professors. It gives you like an overall rating, and then like how many people recommend taking the class, and then there's a little comments. So all the comments tell you like, oh yeah, this professor doesn't have mandatory attendance. Check, I'm taking that class. This professor only does tests and quizzes, and they're super easy, and he lets you cheat and use the study guide. Check, I'm taking that class. But then there are also professors that are like a 1 out of 4. Oh, this professor is completely mandatory. Not taking the class. This professor has homework nightly. Definitely not taking the class. This professor, every time you miss a class, you get a drop grade. No, not taking the class. So Rate My Professor has to be one of the best things the first and foremost thing that you use when you are scheduling your classes. That is one of the, it's a must, because then, and especially because like I had a friend, and if he watches this video, he knows what I'm talking about, did not use Rate My Professor and literally struggled. No, not struggled, but like, I had a friend who literally did not use Rate My Professor, just chose a professor based on time and schedule, and hated their classes, like hated it. So I don't know, I just say it's really important. Online classes versus in-person classes. Online versus in-person classes. You know, it was COVID, so we really mainly had online classes. Sometimes they had like mandatory times that you met, and sometimes it was just free reign. One thing that I learned for me, I can't take a free reign online class that doesn't like meet up at certain times. I failed. That's the class that I failed. I failed African diaspora studies because we didn't have any specific times to meet, and I kind of just forgot about the class and I flunked. But in online classes that like meet at certain times, like my French class, that's what I took also. French class, granted I hated waking up early to go to this French class. I was online, but I kept my grade to a C. So yeah, and then in person, so the only in-person classes that I took, me and Jamie took college algebra fall semester, and our classes, we took later classes. Jamie and I we're not morning people. We're not morning people. So the type of classes, the way my schedule was, every class had to be after 1. All my classes were after 1. I'll make an exception to like 12, but all my classes were after basically 12:30. My latest class was a 5:30 class, ended at 6 something, or was it 6:30, ended at 7. That's one of my latest classes, y'all. People told me not to take late classes just because I would like, my day would be weird or whatever. I love late classes. Like teachers are easier, classes are not mandatory. I'm not gonna say every professor. My college algebra professor, her name was Virginia Watson. Loved her. I'm taking her for pre-cal actually this fall. My class is 6:30 to 7:45 because she's super easy. She literally tells you, like, you know, like when you're taking your test and you're doing your homework, like, you could use your resources, just don't use other people. And her classes weren't mandatory. And I loved my night class. And I literally I went for the first 2 months and then never went again. And I passed that class with an A. Yeah, period, round of applause. A round of applause. But yeah, so I took my later classes. I didn't take any. No, I took one in person. I took human development. That's my other psych class. I took that class. It was in person Mondays and Wednesdays. It wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed that class a lot. The only thing with my professor, she showed a lot of videos about suicide, and that triggered a lot of people. It's not funny because I literally cried in that class. It triggered a lot of people, but I really loved that class. I just wish she gave more of us like a warning to let us know what we were watching. But but honestly, I know I would do better in person, just like only in-person classes. Yo, I'm sorry if you see me opening my eyes. I just put on lashes like individuals and they're like sticking together. But anyways, I know I would do better in in-person classes only, but I think being so used to online classes and, like, you know, using my resources, I won't be able to take only in person now. I don't know what to say after that. So I would say for you guys, use a mix of in-person and online. If you're like me and you've gotten used to being online and just using your resources to get through classes, do a mix. Yeah, that's that's all I gotta say. And go to your classes. If your classes are mandatory, go to them. Because I went to a class, my human development class was not, it was mandatory, and I literally missed like so many classes. And then at the end she realized, she was like, you know what, like, I'm not gonna count for attendance because, you know, like, we're still in a pandemic. And I was like, yeah. So, and my GPA got higher from when I left high school because I had, like, you know, taken college classes, but it's not as high as I want it to be. I'm not gonna say my GPA because I'm not very happy, but yeah, just, you know, have fun, but also remember what you're there for, because I definitely forgot. So mental health, let me get closer. This is something that I really want people to really think about going to college, or starting a new year of college. Mental health is very important. You need to take your mental health seriously. I was seeing a therapist before I went to college, and I got to college and I stopped seeing my therapist because she was in Savannah. I was up in Kennesaw, and she told me I could do virtual, you know, appointments, but I just don't like virtual appointments. I'd rather sit there, and yeah, I like the vibe. But I didn't take her offer, and my mental health deteriorated badly and very quickly. My first month in college, my first 2 months in college, something bad happened to me, and it triggered me really badly to the point where I lost myself for the rest of the semester. I wasn't there. It felt like the first semester was a whole out-of-body experience that I literally can't even remember. I can remember some things, but I don't think I was, it just, if you get it, you get it. I remember my birthday. I remember my friend's birthday. All of my roommates, I remember their birthdays. All my friends, I remember their birthdays. I remember going out. I remember, you know, taking pictures. I remember meeting my friend Jasmine. Oh, that is a friend that I made, y'all. I didn't meet Jasmine. She's my day one. Her and Brielle and Jacob, they my day ones, y'all. They're the real ones. They are my friends. They're my real friends, my true friends. I remember skating. We used to go skateboarding every night. We'd go up to the top deck of the parking decks and we would skate. I remember doing all that. But I also remember a lot of tears, and I remember it just wasn't a good semester for me, y'all. And mental health is super, super important. And I literally did not care about my mental health. I was doing things that I never would do before. I was putting myself in situations that I knew could have been dangerous, but because I literally didn't care, I just keep putting myself in them. And it wasn't until December when me and my boyfriend decided to take a break. And it wasn't until we took this huge break. Okay, yo, hold on, we took a break in October when I had told him about said thing that happened to me. And we took a big break because I was not the person I usually am. I was being rude. I was saying things that I would normally not say. I was very irritable, and it was taking a really big toll on my relationship. But it wasn't until the second break, because I never healed from that thing. And I never healed, and I took it out on everyone. I took it out on every man in my life, and I took it out on just everything. And it wasn't until we took our second big break in December, where's January? Around that time, Christmas break, that I didn't start to get my shit together. Spring semester was dedicated to me growing mentally, growing spiritually, growing physically, growing spiritually, trying to get my mental health better. I still wouldn't go see a therapist. I still wouldn't, and I knew I needed to, but I wanted to do it alone. Don't do it alone. If you have the resources and you know you want to, don't do it alone. Do it with me, because now I'm at a place where I can't do it alone, but I'm still fighting to do it alone. Yeah. So, yeah. So it wasn't until like I really was like, yo, like I didn't realize that I was doing all this stuff, and how bad I probably made my boyfriend feel, and how bad I probably made my friends feel. And that's like after I like realized that and it clicked in my head, then I like vowed, like in like New Year's, like I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better for myself first. Like it's me first, because that's one thing I have an issue with, never putting myself first. And I think that's really messed with me this school year. Putting myself first. I'm number one. I should always be number one, but sometimes I forget that. So putting me first, and then also being able to take criticism and not get defensive, because if you know my past, I get defensive about everything, because of the way I grew up and the way that I was around people and So I get really defensive when it comes to criticism. So it's just like when it comes to people that love me and I know that love me, not to try and not get so defensive about things, and to be able to start communicating. Yeah, and then me and my boyfriend got off our break, and it just started to get better for me. If you guys don't know, this is another serious thing. If you guys don't know, I do have a couple mental illnesses. I'm comfortable with disclosing them. They are my disability. I suffer from depression, generalized anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, and now I'm currently getting tested for borderline personality disorder. So I had a lot going on, and I didn't want to deal with it. And that caused me to start isolating myself spring semester. Having things go down with my roommates and my friends. Isolation. Spring semester hit, and I wasn't talking to anybody. I wasn't really going places. If it wasn't like a big event, somebody's birthday, I wasn't there. I wasn't skating anymore. I wasn't going out. I wanted nothing to. I would rather starve in my apartment than go out and get food, and it was rough. And then I have an eating disorder. I've had an eating disorder since I was in the 8th grade. I suffered from bulimia in 8th grade, and now I suffer from binge eating disorder. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up. I'll kind of explain it. The way for me, I'll go a couple days barely eating, little to no eating, no food, and then I'll have a day where I'll just sit there and eat everything, and then I'll start to feel bad about myself, and then the cycle will keep going. Yeah, so my relationship with food, not very healthy. It wasn't healthy at all during college. I tried to cook as much as I can, but because of the depression and stuff, I ended up just getting food from campus. Now, let's talk about food. That's the next topic, food. Let's talk about how, I mean, Kennesaw is very, like, Kennesaw has some good options. We have, like, the actual, like, cafeteria thing. They cook food every day. They had tacos, they had salads, they had chicken tenders, they had, like, home-cooked meals, they had salads, wraps, pizza, pasta. But I didn't want that. We also had Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, sushi, Moe's. I think that's it on campus. Y'all, when I tell you that's what I was mainly eating, Panda Express, that's what I was mainly eating. I wanted nothing to do with anything. I did not want to do anything, especially spring semester. But I was cooking a lot. But I was cooking a lot of pasta because that's my comfort food. I cooked hamburgers. I made some wings. I made some Haitian food. Like, not trying to brag or anything, but I was cooking it up in the kitchen. But then I was also buying Panda Express the other day. Yeah. So the food was pretty good. I mean, the cafeteria was pretty good. There were some days that it wasn't great. It wasn't good at all. And then there were days it was like, chef's kiss, this is bomb. So it was just kind of iffy, you know? It was iffy, and I didn't like the inconsistency. So I was eating Panda Express. Yeah. That's food. Food was really good. Oh, when I usually go to Starbucks, y'all, I usually get a Frappuccino. And I widened my palette of taste and tried to drink the iced matcha latte. Y'all, that is my go-to Starbucks drink now. An iced matcha latte with cinnamon dolce syrup, brown sugar, 6 pumps of brown sugar syrup, vanilla sweet cream cold foam. Yeah, put in the comments. But it's really good, and I'm now addicted to it. Instead of drinking Frappuccinos every day, and I put almond milk because lactose intolerant. Oh, that's another thing that happened to me at first semester. I've always known I was lactose intolerant, and we always drink almond milk at my house. I started drinking almond milk on campus, like the almond milk that I would buy from Walmart. No, I eventually was getting sick, stomach pains, so I had to drink Lactaid, and even that was still causing me issues. So I gotta go to the doctor and see what's wrong. Another thing that like really like affected me in college, I was always at the doctors. I'm always at the doctors in general, but like I went a lot more this year. I ended up getting hospitalized in November, October. I had something wrong with my stomach. Basically, my stomach acid was eating at the lining of my stomach, and it caused me a lot of pain. And yeah, so as you guys know, my mom's in the military. So that same day that I was in the hospital, my dad went to the hospital too because he had appendicitis. They needed to get his appendix taken out, and I was in the hospital the whole night too. But he was in Savannah and I was in Kennesaw, and so my mom had to do an emergency flight over here from Korea, and she was here for Thanksgiving. Yeah, so that happened. But I was always with doctors. We were trying to figure out like what was wrong with me about different things, and like I'm like gaining weight, but I don't eat, and when I do eat and when I work out, I'm still not losing anything. So I have to go see a specialist. Ridiculous. But yeah, so then I want to talk about having a relationship in college and friendships also. My relationship was really tested in college, you know. I got freedom that I never had before, and I think there was just this fear between me and my boyfriend that like, I don't know, this freedom, this all of a sudden freedom was going to change me. And then on my side, like, you know, being 4 hours away from him, I was like, oh, like he's gonna find someone better, da, da, da. So it was just a lot of ups and downs in my relationship, and then all the things that I was going through personally, there were some ups and downs as every relationship should have. In the end, we worked out. Still going strong. 2 years strong. Gang, gang. 2 years strong, y'all. Still doing great. Still get butterflies when I see him. Still in love or whatever. And then friendships. I already talked about it, but my best friend and I, we still like this. She's my for-lifer. She's my for-lifer. We've been friends since 7th grade, so it's gonna be 7 years. Seven years of friendship, y'all. That's deep. 7 years of friendship. She's never going anywhere. Never. To be honest, if it wasn't for Jay, my sister, and my best friend Kalila, I don't think I would have been here today. In all honesty, I don't think I would be here today, sitting here making this video for you guys if it wasn't for those three. It wasn't my boyfriend, my best friend, and my sister. I would not be where I'm at today. So having those close relationships is super, super important. If you have them, even if they don't go to the same school as you, if you have them, keep them. My other best friends from high school, Mary and Gabby, they go to Mercer. Those are my girls. Granted, we got to see each other like during breaks and stuff, but like none of us had a car, so we didn't really get to drive. I didn't get to drive to Mercer. It was only 2 hours. But I didn't get to drive because I ended up losing my car because I got the tattoo. But like I was still calling them almost every day. We would sit on the phone for hours together in silence, doing homework or whatever. My best friend Nina, the other best friend from high school, she goes to Georgia Southern in Savannah, Armstrong campus. We still like that. We all sit on the phone together. And it's just like, I may have not made any friends at Kennesaw. I may not have stuck with my friends in Kennesaw, but I got my girls and my man that I've had. Those are my day ones, you know? Bree and Jasmine's still here. You know, Bree and Jasmine, like Jasmine won't be coming back this year, but she'll be back for junior year. Bree's my girl, she'll be there. Me and her gonna be driving around as we usually did, going to the mall, getting our nails done, talk about our mans, thriving, going out to eat, getting dressed up. Like, me and Bree had a lot of fun, y'all. And then Bree lives in Savannah, so we were taking trips to South Carolina. Like, we had fun. Jasmine too. So yeah, so you may not have like, you know, close-knit friends your first year, and that's to be expected. Sometimes don't come into the expectation thing you're gonna have a big group of friends, you guys are gonna be friends all 4 years, because that's what I thought. Our friend group didn't even last 2 semesters. So yeah, yeah, just like keep relationships, your friendships. Learn to accept people as they are. Learn to accept people as they are. Do not change anybody. If a person doesn't want to be changed, they won't change. Remember that. That's important. But yeah, so the last topic I want to talk about, if y'all don't know this, you're a little bit behind, but I have a service dog. Actually, now I have 2 service dogs. I'll show a picture of them. The pit bull is Rhino. He's been my service dog for a full year now. Got him last year in July of 2020. It's now July 2021, and it's about to be our adoption day anniversary. And then my second service dog is Storm. He's the black lab. That's my baby boy right there. He's 1.5. I just got him in May. He's off at training right now, so can't really show him, and Rhino's asleep, so I'm not gonna disturb him. And so what it was like having a service dog in college. Thankfully, I had roommates who accepted me and my dogs. I'm gonna say that. My roommates accepted me. They never had issue. Jamie was allergic to dogs, and Jamie still did not care that I had a dog in my dorm, and I'm so forever grateful for Jamie, because she would let Rhino like get in her car, and like, you know, I'm just grateful for Jamie in general, because Jamie would drive me places. Me and Jamie got the same job. We'll get there. But having a service dog in college, it was hard. I was away from home for the first time with a dog that I hadn't spent a lot of time with. And Rhino got sick a couple times, and it was really hard for me to deal with school, my personal life, and then a sick dog. And then going to class with Rhino. Rhino is now about to be retired soon. Once Storm has been fully trained, Rhino will be retired and will be an at-home service dog, because I think Rhino is burnt out from how much training I tried to do with him in such a short amount of time that he's anxious. And then I think he gained some anxiety of his own, and I think he's also feeding off of my anxiety. So taking him to class wasn't pretty. Took him to class about 2 times, and each time he cried the whole time, and I'd have to leave class early, and I felt so embarrassed. Dealing with the service dog in college, you have to deal with all the stares, you have to deal with the questions. It was ridiculous. Point blank, it was ridiculous. I had a situation where me and my friends were studying at my friend's dorm area, and Rhino was just walking around, and I guess this RA had seen Rhino and came up, and she was like, "Oh, so is this your dog?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "He's a service dog." And she was like, "Okay, well, like, you know, like, I don't have any." It was just a really weird situation. I almost got kicked out of the area because I didn't have a card that said he was a service dog. So I don't really know. But yeah, that was the situation. But it gets easier having a service dog on campus. I'm gonna be living off campus this year. So my phone died, so I have to, record from my iPad. Excuse the terrible quality, y'all. This is horrible. But anyways, back to what I was saying about having a service dog. It was very stressful at times. People are very ignorant and don't know rules or laws about service dogs. So, they would distract you. They would distract your dog. They were trying to come touch your dog. I got followed because I literally wouldn't want somebody to touch my dog. Like, it can be very stressful. But I don't think I could have survived without him. To help with my disabilities. I had days, dude, when I tell you, okay, I also have chronic migraines, that's another disability. When I tell you, what is this? Oh, it's pimple. When I tell y'all that I had migraines so bad, I would stay in bed for a full 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, because of my migraines, and I had to make sure my windows were shut, my blinds were shut. I had blackout curtains, so I had to use those. No lights, no TV, nobody could make noise in the apartment. It was bad. So Rhino really helped me through those. But yeah, overall, my experience, I had an okay experience. It could have been better. It could have been a lot worse. I learned to love being alone. I learned to love being with myself, and I learned that it was okay to not have friendships that lasted or to have friendships that failed. And you know what? I'm not gonna admit it. I'm not gonna not admit it. I sometimes stayed with friends with fake people because I was alone. Because I didn't know how to love being alone. And then I learned to love being alone. I did not give a fuck about anybody, their opinion, nothing. I'm grateful for this year. I'm grateful for making it through my first year of college. Y'all, look at this picture that I had taken too. You can find it on Instagram. Party deck. But anyways, I'm grateful for my roommates. We may have fallen out. We may have had our ups and downs, but I'm grateful for Gabby helping out with Rhino when I was sick. Kayla getting me food sometimes. Gabby getting me food sometimes. Jamie driving me around everywhere. Bree and Jasmine driving me around everywhere. Jasmine, checking up on me when I was in the hospital when nobody else was checking up on me. Jasmine taking me to get my meds when nobody would take me to go get my meds. Jasmine taking me to go get groceries when nobody would literally take me to go get groceries and I was starving in my own apartment. I'm grateful for every little thing that everybody did. I'm grateful for Jacob for all the little midnight food runs we would go, for her ice cream run, for letting me drive his car. That's trust. That is trust. So I'm just grateful for all the experiences and the friends that I've made and the people that I talked to. I'm grateful for everyone and the experiences that I made. I'm grateful for my best friend and my boyfriend for staying by me through the worst parts of myself, the worst the worst me that has ever been. I'm just grateful. But I hope you guys have a great first year of college if this is what you're watching it for, and if it's not your first year, I hope you guys have a better year than you did last year. If you go to Kennesaw State and you want to be friends, hit me up on Snapchat or on Instagram, or slide in the comments and I will email you. I don't know. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I hope you guys come back for another video. Bye.
Time. He comes alive at midnight.